So it's really been a vacation for me. And it kind of felt like there's been something missing. And coming back to this campus, I just, as soon as I came in the buildings, I was like, man, this is what I'm missing. I'm missing being around such great people. As I've listened to every one of your stories and what you've done, it's just amazing. I know most everybody that's presented. Justina was always there to help out in the International Student Services Office. So you're more than just great platelets. I know that for sure. But I had this whole like lecture or whatever presentation already thought out and planned out. But as I was listening to these stories, I just really kind of changed what I wanted to talk about. The biggest thing is just how much strength that I received and that we all receive from other great people. When we're seated and we're being pushed to our limits and encouraged to help the community, it's amazing. And I miss that. You know, skiing's great, but after a while, it's like, I miss working with a lot of people at school. So, and it's great to be around Emmylou Thayne. Your hymn that you wrote gave me a lot of strength in some of my darkest times. So, thank you so much. Whew. I cried for soil or for poop last year. So, this year I just lost it. So I get emotional at times. So I really like this graphic of the world and the plant. It really reminds me of the Thayne Center's mission. I had this distinct privilege of working in the Thayne Center when we were creating our vision statement and mission statement. And one of the parts of the vision of the Thayne Center that really stuck out to me was, I don't remember the word for word for it, but it was that we wanted to empower our students who are going to go out and change the world. And seeing that in every one of you has really encouraged me to try to make my small contribution as well. So here are some of the things that I've done with the Civically Engaged Scholarship Program. So I created Seeds of Hope, which is a little initiative that one day will become a nonprofit, which advocates for sustainable food systems. Was led immediately to this sustainability committee, just through my efforts in trying to create a community garden here at SLCC. And from there, I went to Service Council and Slice. I kind of stuck around one more semester, and then I got married. I was like, yeah, now I really need to get it on. Gotta finish this up. So I created the SLCC Community Garden, worked with a lot of community gardens in the Salt Lake area on different initiatives, worked on a resource guide in Melody Lambert's service learning class, which was an amazing experience for me to be involved in that. And loved the various leadership and training workshops that I had on Slice, and the guest lectures that we had come in that really helped me to reframe and think of issues in different ways. And was involved with various protests in the community, which I really love to do. And
what ones were you involved with, Jason?
I'm sorry?
What protests have you been involved with?
There was a protest for education. It was for not cutting teachers' pay, and last year. And
at the state capitol, right?
At the state capitol, yeah, these were at the state capitol. And the other one was for stewardship over land. It was different religious backgrounds that were fighting for conservation. And so, how did the Civically Engaged Scholarship Program enhance my learning? Well, it incentivized me and taught me to see college as more than a degree. And I think the incentive to me and the economy that we're in right now, yeah, you need the money, you need those tuition waivers. It became more difficult, I think, as time went on. But the bigger incentive was just the social capital that you build up, being involved with so many great people in our community. And this is the protest at the Capitol. I had no idea I was going to be in the picture. I looked a little gloom and sad in that one, but overall it encouraged me just to be a more active citizen. And so I remember when Dr. Clark came, one of my first months in was Service Council at the time, he talked about not doing service just to do service. I had dreamed for many years to be involved in community gardening. Here comes it again. And never really took that initiative. And finally, when I moved to Salt Lake, I really took that initiative. And at the time, it was more out of the altruistic type of mentality of, I don't know if you're familiar with, it's called karma yoga, of selfless service, doing things without getting recognition, which I prefer. And but when Marlon talked about doing service, he really pushed us to think of, why are we doing service? What social injustice are we fighting against? And not just doing service. And so there are many reasons that community gardens, to me, are very effective in battling social injustices. But some of the biggest reasons that are listed here, there are a limited number of community gardens in Salt Lake City. When I came to Salt Lake, I got on a waiting list for like 20 years or something with Wasatch, right? Mm-hmm. And you couldn't find any other listings on the internet. Community gardens change lives. They absolutely changed mine. That is where I find my comfort. I'm like in your hymn that you wrote. Where do you turn for peace? And that's where I turn to peace. For peace is my community gardens. Too many of us are at food risk. I myself have been at food risk for many years and have had many close friends that have been very hungry. And this is why we have a community garden here at Slick. And then, what better way to teach culinary students the importance of fresh food than an organic garden? I was in the culinary program, as you saw the first picture. That's what I'm graduating with this May. And students there didn't care about sustainability. They don't really care about organics. And I thought if I were to grow a tomato that was organic and in a local farm, they would then taste the difference, and that would encourage a change. So to start out the garden, I know I'm probably going over on time. The first step that I took was talking to community partners in Salt Lake before I even approached the school. And that was before I even knew there was a service, before I knew there was a Thayne Center. And so these were just a number of the organizations that helped encourage me and really helped to create the garden here at Slick. If it wasn't for them, this would have never happened, in my opinion. And just amazing things were happening, and I really learned that you have to plan, and plan like no tomorrow, and in the end, things will start to fall into place. And I really like the idea, if you build it, they will come. When we started the garden, I approached Adam Dastrip in the Sustainability Committee, and he was like, yeah, we support you. Totally support you. You got all of our moral support. We don't have a budget. And so I was like, that's all I need. I'm content with that. And me and Adam really pushed forward, and I think maybe have stepped on some toes while we're really driving to get this garden going. And when we first started approaching people, we realized there were some people that didn't like the idea. And what I really learned from this experience was, it's not a matter of like, okay, you don't like this idea, well, I'm not going to talk to you. It was a matter of, well, why don't you like this idea? What can we change? What can we improve to get you on board? And those people who were in opposition have become some really close allies. And I've heard that we're expanding the garden this year, and just wonderful things happening. And it was so cool last year when I started to cry at the Wasatch Community Gardens workshop here. It was because we had, like, a week before, we didn't have boxes, we didn't have money, and we were supposed to be doing this raised bed workshop here on campus with boxes. We had no material. I was like, well, I can get some boards out of a dumpster somewhere. And all of a sudden, donations just poured in. We got over $5,000 of a $3,000 student class gift, but in-kind donations of fertilizer and soils that were just given to us. And it was just amazing. And so that fell into place. Earth Day was kind of the same thing. We didn't have the boxes leveled, and Adam and I and a couple other students came out and really worked on leveling the boxes. And this is just 2 days before the groundbreaking was supposed to happen. And this picture is very powerful to me. We didn't know who was going to build our boxes. Adam and I were like, well, I've worked with hand tools before, and I've been a painter. I don't know if I can use that. And then in comes the Youth Builds program, which are youth that have had a rough past, and they're getting on the right path. And they built those boxes, and they were so proud to do it. And I was so glad to see them involved in that effort. And it's so just amazing to see how one little idea touched so many lives so fast. And I think it touched my life more than anybody. I think I'm the one that cries about the community garden here in Slick, so I think I can vouch for that.
And after those tomatoes last year, I was weeping.
Yeah. So me and Clint. But Clint's leading the guard now. So, to me, I'll close with two quotes. One from Gandhi. That's kind of my driving maxim in life. To forget how to dig in the earth and tend the soil is to forget ourselves. And as I was listening to everyone's presentations, I thought of Kev Moe, one of my favorite contemporary blues artists. He has a song called "I'm Amazing," and he says, "I'm amazing. I'm a miracle. I'm a marvel, a dream come true. I'm marvelous. I'm wonderful. But guess what? So are you." So thank you so much for all that you guys have been to me last year.